This is the Landlord Advocates, where we help landlords become better landlords. I'm your host, Matthew Lyman. Welcome. Landlords, we have more bad news for you. In particular, landlords in the state of New York. In September and October of 2020, a very large grant was awarded by New York State Attorney General Letitia James, former New York City public advocate, elected New York State Attorney General in January of 2019. Attorney General Letitia James awarded a grant called the Tenant Legal Services Program to combat evictions during COVID-19. This grant is given outside of New York City to 6 regions. They are Long Island, the Southern Tier, Western and Central New York, the Hudson Valley, and Albany, New York, known as the Capital Region. This grant totals $742,000. It is being awarded September and October 2020 to legal service providers to tenants to combat evictions during the COVID-19 crisis. Yes, you as the landlord want to take your tenant to court for non-payment of rent, destruction of property, not leaving, and now when you do outside of New York City, you can be rest assured that your tenants will come with free legal assistance to combat that eviction, because New York State Attorney General Letitia James awarded $742,000 to do so. She knows that most of these evictions, as she has stated, more New Yorkers now more than ever are facing evictions and payment issues. So she knows that many tenants across New York State and even across America are not paying the rent. Most by choice, because they can't be evicted right now. She knows that payment issues are facing landlords. That is the crux of the majority of evictions right now. So she awards $742,000 to unnamed, as of now they're not named, legal service providers, your legal aid societies of New York, to fight you when you're in court to evict your tenant for non-payment of rent. She went on to say when this grant was awarded, or when she was initiating this grant, to let New York know, apply, send us to your request for proposals, we'll award these grants in September, October. She had stated that we know that without legal representation, tenants are often unfairly and unjustly evicted. Well, if the landlord and the tenants come to court and evidence is presented, and the court makes a ruling that the tenant must leave, bye-bye, how is it unjust and unfair? The evidence was presented. Or how about when the tenants don't even bother coming to court, and the landlord gets a judgment and a warrant of eviction based on default? How is that unfair and unjust? The tenants chose not to come to court. But this money now is there to help tenants in Long Island and upstate New York to fight these evictions that you want. So she goes on further to say that these grants will help ensure that everyone who has the right to stay in their home is able to do so. Well, we beg to differ, Attorney General James. We beg to differ. They can call it their home, and yeah, we want them to treat it as a home. Yes, that's what we want. But at the end of the day, it is not their home. It is the property of the landlord/real estate investor. And that landlord wants to receive their pay, their rent, on a 30 to 31 day cycle every month for that tenant to remain there. If they don't do so, then it's not their home, it is not their domicile, it is not their place of residence. It may be, but the landlord wants to get them out of there because no money's coming in. And here, this grant that you have given out of $742,000 is there to stop these evictions from happening. Why? If the tenants owe the rent, why can they not be evicted? Why does the landlord have to keep them there without getting any money? We might feel a little bit better if the $742,000 and then some was given to the landlords to compensate for the rent not being paid by the tenants. But now, this $742,000 is being given to legal service providers, to tenants, to stop these evictions from happening. How many more barriers, how many more hindrances, how many more walls do landlords have to go up against in order to get the eviction? Isn't the Centers for Disease Control agency order enough? In New York State, isn't the Tenant Safe Harbor Act enough? Isn't the eviction moratoriums here in New York and all over the United States enough? How much more do landlords have to deal with? How much more? Landlords, you can see that we're on top of this, and we're going to continue to stay on top of issues like this that affect you. We know that you're frustrated. We know that you're angry. We know that you've had enough. That's why we present these videos to you on our channel and across other forms of social media. We ask that you subscribe to our channel. We ask that you hit the like button, you hit the notification bell so that you'll know of other videos. The more you do that, the more YouTube realizes that you like the content that we're sharing with you, and they will share that more and more on YouTube to educate other landlords. We all have to work together. We all have to educate each other. We all must take a stand for our desires and our needs as landlords. Until then, landlords, thank you very much, and we wish you well. Until next time, take care.